welcome to the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable, where we're going to talk about my new band, Psychedelic CEO. No, I'm just teasing. That was actually a Chris Perry idea for a song, but I thought it'd be an even better idea for a band. And I'm not sure the company we're going to talk about. In fact, I know the company that we're going to talk about today does not have a psychedelic CEO that we're aware of.
No.
His name is Jeff McLeod, and he runs KWESST Micro Systems, KWE, on the Venture Exchange, and they are based in Vancouver. Chris is in the far corner. Michelle is upstairs in the penthouse, and down drinking whiskey right out of the still is Mr. Galen. Woohoo!
Yep.
Feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And with that in mind, he gets to launch into the quest.
Okay, so KWESST Intelligent Microsystems is a company that provides innovations in tactical systems and for defense and security, basically dragging our military efforts into the 21st century. What we're talking about are like handheld devices, the same things we have in the civilian space. We're bringing it to the military space and to the protection space.
I've seen playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically what they've got, their flagship tasks is a tactical awareness and situational control system, meaning that any device you have, they'll be able to display input from any source, including drones overhead. So the big problem with military incursions is that, and you'll see this in every film that's actually well done in regards to military conflict, everybody's running around trying not to fucking die. It's really difficult for people to know exactly what their teammates are doing, what other squad members are doing, where armaments are set up, where they're shooting off their artillery. And so this basically is offering the military this advantage now, where they get real-time situational awareness right then and there, meaning that they can integrate this with the battlefield management system, any of them, in fact, and so they can control operations. Everybody knows where everybody's at. Nobody's doing friendly fire, which is another big consideration. Now, they also have other elements to their business. They have a counter-drone system. And what I'd like to state, this company is a non-lethal protector. This is a very interesting prospect because you're not necessarily investing in a company that's building bullets. So if you've got any qualms in regards to that, these ain't the guys. They're making people safer, and they're making missions more optimized and safer for everybody involved. So counter-drone system, basically these drones will fly up in the air, hit anything that they deem dangerous, another drone system coming in, even swarms, be able to knock them out of the air. They've also got ground laser defense systems, and yes, lasers are becoming a part of warfare now, including high energy lasers, which are pretty fucking terrifying. But basically these lasers that they're talking about are the ones they just direct into your eye and fuck up targeting systems and all that kind of lovely stuff. This detects them and then also lets you see where the source is, so if able, you can avoid it or take it out. They also have an electronic decoy system, which is also very interesting, considering that our warfare now is very heavily dependent on IT and data gathering and data dispersal. This will actually create electronic decoys. The enemy thinks you're over here instead of over here. It'll scramble up your communications between the leadership and the guys that are on the ground, the squads, and actually mimic the voices and the electronic signatures and really fuck up the enemy so they have no idea where you are. Also, they have a smart ordnance system, which basically is a shot counter on your assault rifle. One would think they would have done that by now. But, now you know how many bullets you have left. You don't have to count in your head. And also, it tracks the degradation on the weapon itself so it can go in time on a timely basis for maintenance, thus prolonging the life of the weapon and for use within the military. So works on all sides there. They've also got low energy cartridges. Now, this is a little more for crowd control and people you just don't want to kill, but you want to make sure they're not going to mess with you. There you go, right there. They, at this point, just got $400,000 U.S. police orders for their non-lethal weaponry that they've actually introduced into their product line. On November, they landed a deal with General Dynamics Land Systems, which is a huge military contractor. They selected KWESST for their Phantom electronic decoy for their new U.S. military vehicle program. This is a big deal because these guys provide a lot of vehicles for the military. Also, in October, they got a lot of interest from NATO for their battlefield laser defense system, which, as I said, is a big thing. And they present at places like the Defense and Security Equipment International Conference, which is a global country level, like a state level or conference, you could say festival, I guess, for military and security. So these guys are showing in the right places. And what I really like about this company is that their leadership has a huge or deep experience within the industry. We're talking military professionals that have been in the industry in all sorts of facets, especially counterterrorism and other types of things. And really know what they need and know what the military needs. They also have deep relationships with government offices and also the armed forces. And it's, telltale by the deals that they're doing right now. They have about they're focusing on an $82.4 billion global market. Now, this is what I like about this company. They're not saying, I'm going to bring you the world. They see what they're actually going to service, and they make that promise on that. That's what I love about these guys. So they say they intend to address a 300 to 500 million portion of that particular market. And you know what? That's big enough for me. They expect to uplist to a major U.S. exchange in 2022, so they're on the move. They're going to ramp up revenue in 2022, along with some yet-to-be-named mergers and acquisitions. And they also intend to get more contractor partnerships like they did with General Dynamics. They got $2.69 million in cash as of September 30th. They have $1.28 million in revenue for the year as of September 20. They did pull in a net loss of $9.32 million for the year, but they raised $6 million in equity financing, so they are actually active on the boards doing their thing, and they currently trade at 83 cents per share with, this is what I like, 48.97 million outstanding shares. That's such a sweet, tight share count. They give a shit about what they're doing, and they're financially responsible. And they have a small market cap for such a big market. They're at 40.61 million. So I'm going to turn that over to you guys.
Chris, by the way, there probably are weapons festivals in the United States, I would imagine. But then again, Chris Perry, thoughts on it?
Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Going to say that there definitely are those sorts of festivals, and that the average man can go to and buy himself an anti-tank round.
That's what I mean.
That's basically who they're making these defense instruments for, is us, to protect ourselves from them. Oh,
yeah. Look, Quest is I've always summed it up as being really simple, and that is protecting the protectors, right? It creates things that make soldiers and police more efficient and safer. So as an example, hey, at one point we owned all the drones and the enemy didn't have drones. Now the enemy has drones. So Quest developed drones that identify enemy drones and then launch themselves at them like a missile. So that's great. Well, now the enemy has figured that stuff out too. So now Quest has created drones that have countermeasures for suicide drones. This is a company that, if you just think about that bullet counter on the weapon, like imagine if you actually build weapons like, guns for a living, you sell guns by the billions, and you never thought to yourself, hey, an ammo counter, that'd be a novel addition. Like instead you just sell the same thing you've been selling since the 50s. Doesn't make any sense. So here's Quest that just like, hey, the kids playing Call of Duty have ammo counters. Why isn't that a thing in the real world when it's a thing in every single shooting game that has ever been built? Mm-hmm. So they create it, and it goes into the world and makes them money. They're not out there building exocet missiles. What they're doing is they're creating things that will scramble the positions of military people in the field, things that will mock the positions of military people in the field. Hey, instead of the enemy scanning the area and seeing a big block of humanity over here, let's make them think the block of humanity is 2 miles away, and when they show themselves, then our guys will be in a good shape. It's real simple. Like, I'm not a gun guy by any stretch. Investing in military traditionally is not my jam. I don't want to invest in the end of the world and then jump up and down on the ashes with my pennies. I'd much rather invest in things that are going to leave the world a good place. I think this is one of those things. Certainly, hey, ACAB, I get it. Police have sort of transitioned from peace officers to riot officers recently and creating things for them that can make them have an easier job finding peaceful protesters and banging them on the head isn't my jam. But there are certainly a lot of things that can be done to help legitimate policing and military out in the field do a better job. And if you think about the millions that governments will spend on developing a soldier, right? Kitting them out, training them up, protecting their lives, delivering meds in the field. Like, you're spending millions of dollars per head on a soldier. Now, if Quest comes along and says, hey, we've got 5 things that we have here that are small buys, but can increase the safety of those officers by 40, 50%, that's a gimme. That's an easy sell to any government, any military group, any policing group. So I think that there's a real future on Quest Micro Systems. What I think is the struggle for them is they just ain't telling their story. For a while there they were, and we were helping, and the stock was moving. And then they thought, okay, well, we've done our work now. And they stopped telling the story, and the stock started to drop. Then a dude by the name of Andy DiFrancesco, who cannabis investors will know very well, found the stock, decided it was a good purchase, bought into the stock by in a larger way, and the stock went back up again. And I believe that Quest thought their prayers were answered and that everything was going to be fine. Hence we're going to graduate to the next level up in tickers, et cetera, et cetera. As happens often when guys come in and buy a lot of stock and the stock goes up, they take their profits, they move on. And so that company now is at a place where realistically the share price is at a low, even though they've developed the business to a place where they're actually further down the business plan than they were back a year ago when the price was at 270. So, I think this is actually a really interesting company at an interesting time. We're starting to stare down Putin. We're always worried that the Chinese and the North Koreans are going to start something up. There's definitely every chance that the Russians will start something in the Ukraine. There's always problems in the Middle East. I think this is a company that has a lot of growth potential and very serious people behind it that understand technology, have made themselves available to American military and government, have gone through the program required to be trusted as a vendor in those circles, which is no small feat. And they're at every military show showing what they can do. So for me, share price at this level, business model that they have, serious people that they are, I think that this is a good purchase.
Yep.
Michelle, Chris just alluded to those charts and to that stock price and the reasons why it did what it did. So let's take a gander.
Yeah. So just exactly what Chris said, the stock looked like it was about to take off. Back in September of 2021, we had this breakout into all-time record highs, hitting about $2.70, and then from there, just a downwards drift, and we broke a major support here at $1.70, which was holding, for quite some time here, for a good 2 months.
Refresh your screen there, my friend.
Oh yeah, you got to refresh. I'm getting.
Oh, it's not moving?
No, it is frozen.
They're just saying your point account.
No, I'm going to have to stop streaming, and then I'm going to have to share again.
It was on your post-conference bedroom shot.
Awesome. There we go. I love that. Okay. Look, that's all charty.
There we go. That's all charty. So I hope you guys got to see all the presentations and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it all worked right up until then. It just decided to freeze, as Discord is wont to do.
Okay. I guess maybe Halliburton and Lockheed Martin don't want us buying the share.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
That's probably it. But just quickly, before we talk about that, Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, a lot of these military stocks were doing quite well given the whole stock market sell-off. Because there was some some theories that maybe markets were dropping because of imminent war with what the Russians could be doing over there in Eastern Europe. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about this, I think, in the future. We do talk about Quest being a non-lethal, company, but I think you can still sort of put it into that military complex there. And if military stocks do get a bump, I'm sure people will start be looking at Quest, and Quest will be popping up in triggers on people's watch lists and the algos. Ray Dalio's new book, if you read about Ray Dalio, he's much more worried about the Chinese, because he's like, the U.S. and China is already in a trade war, a currency war, a technology war, a finance war, we're in all the wars with the Chinese, and there's only one more left, and that's a shipping war. Hopefully, we don't get there, but that's the whole Thucydides trap that Ray Dalio sets up, and I think a lot more people are focused on the Russian side, but I think the China side is much more. It's more maybe stealthier, but there's big things going on there. So that in itself, I think it's not going anywhere. So a lot of these military stocks will have their time to shine, I guess, and it raises up that ethical question. It's something. I remember I had a conversation with people about this long time ago in trading circles, and people would say, "Hey, the U.S. government, the Canadian government, we supply the Saudis, and we supply the French armies, and we supply other armies with ammunitions that they use to go around doing terrible things." And usually the counter is, just because another person does it or a country doesn't mean it's right. So yes, there's a large amount of ethics when it comes to military stocks. So I think I'm a bit more rest assured that Quest is focusing on that non-lethal side and protecting our troops. But going through the charts, as I mentioned earlier, we had that big breakout here in September of 2021, hitting highs of around $2.70. And then from there, we just started drifting downwards, and there was hope of a support here at $1.70. We were stalling there for a bit, and it was looking like we began to range, and we're looking for actually a breakout. I remember we were looking at this over on our Discord group, but unfortunately, we did not get that breakout. Instead, we got a breakdown, taking down or breaking below $1.70, which was a major support zone there, and we have drifted quite to the lows here. We have actually almost hit all-time record lows, which comes down at around 50 cents here, which is, funnily enough, another major psychological support zone. But there is quite a lot of support here at around 64 to 65 cents. And you can see here in the past couple of days, the buyers have been stepping in. And in fact, today we were up, we closed 10% today. So there could be a bit of a turnaround here. If you are looking to, get in early into something, I think this would be a zone to consider. I'm sometimes a bit more of a cower trader, I guess, but I would like to just see a bit more of a range here. I'm not someone that really likes these type of moves where there's a big drop and then it immediately a big spike. We call those like a V drop and a V increase because it looks like a V pretty much. I'm more of someone that likes to see something like this, where if we are at this major 60-cent zone, we find some basing, just indicating that a lot of that selling has been exhausted, and then we take off in a nice orderly fashion like that. But that doesn't always happen in markets, obviously. But a very, very big support zone here, and I think it's a great area for looking to enter a position into Quest, given the fundamentals of the company and also the macro drop of the world heading into the future.
It is KWESST Micro Systems, based right in Vancouver, British Columbia. It is KWE on the Venture Exchange. Jeff McLeod is the CEO, and Galen is going to tell us, is he spending any money right now?
Well, actually, I really like these guys. Now, the one drawback or the one reservation I do have is, as Vishal illustrated, is this V pattern. It looks like it's a bit of a spike that's probably going to return to the baseline again. So if it does actually hit that bottom again, I will consider that my W and think that this is actually going to proceed ahead with a possible upward trend. There's no reason why it shouldn't, because basically this company, as Chris had mentioned, is already doing business and is already set up, ready to go, has all the necessary contacts. It's beyond the whole prototype stage. It's doing shit. So, what are we at right now, and what's the bottom again?
We are right now at 85 cents, and there's a major support at around 60 to 63 cents.
Okay, I will wait for 60. Once it hits 60 cents or 63 cents, I would be willing to drop in $5,000. That's me.
All right. Guru Man CP?
I like this company a lot. I still hold some from back in the day. We did really well from it the first time around. I think we took it from $1 or so up to 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, whatever it was. We still have a little bit just because I like the deal, and I think When you're looking at the political situations we look at out in the world, I think that this is a potential growth sector. I remember back when every time there was a shooting in the US, Patriot One, which had its gun detection system, would suddenly go up 20%. You don't like to necessarily capitalize on death and destruction, but preventing death and destruction is something worth capitalizing on. So I like these guys. At this price, I'm not picky about whether it's 80 cents or 85 cents or 60 cents. It's a deal. It's a bargain down here. I'd be putting your 5K in on one condition, and that is the company needs to get back to telling its story. And, that might seem like I'm saying, hey, do business with us, and then I'll put fictional money in your account. That's what I'm saying. Do business with us again. Like, let's go. Let's tell this story. It's a good story. I'm into it. We've always been into it. We've always helped this company move when we've worked with them. And eyeballs on the story is what they need. It's what they're lacking. No one doubts that they have good products. No one doubts that they're smart people that understand how to actually maneuver in that vendor system that is so difficult to get into. They just got to tell more people about it.
Yeah. All right.
And make some cool video. Like, show us those damn products out there.
Yep.
Like, get those drones slamming into other drones. I want to see that shit on YouTube. I want to see it on Twitter.
We can come out and shoot it for them.
We can come out and shoot it for them.
No problem.
Right? They don't really have much video in terms of the tech.
It's surprising. I don't know. It's something they want to fix, but they're also very focused on just like developing a product.
We'll do it. Yep. We'll do it. Michelle, are you spending any now?
Yes, sir. I like this support bounce here. Again, I am a bit hesitant on that V-shaped recovery. I don't really like to see that, but I think the stock has hit a nice bottom there. And I just think, with what's going on around the world and just the technicals here close to the lows there, I think it's a safe entry. And I would be putting 5K as well in this. But again, just be careful that there could be some volatile price action. Just as Galen and I alluded to, where we could just see a crazy V drop. But if we do actually see a drop down to 60 cents, I think that's an even better opportunity to enter. But as of now, I would enter 5K. And if we ever do break 60 and break the 50 cents, I might have to reassess what's going on. But I think it's more of a case of, as Chris mentioned, they have great stuff going on, great products. It's more of getting the story out to the public.
2 5s and a 0. Any parting shots? That's my mild pun.
Oh, no, 3 5s, man.
3 5?
3 5s. Sorry, I thought we had a 0. All right, 3 5s.
My parting shot is you can get it today for the share price that you could get it for when it was an idea. Right?
Good point.
Back when it was an idea, this was the price. Now they've got a couple of years of development. They've got acquisitions. They've got products. They've got money in the bank.
Deals.
They've proven themselves out there in the world. Confirmed kills. And you get it for the same price you got it for when it was like, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea if we did this?
Yep. All right. It is KWESST, and it is on the Venture Exchange as KWE. Jeff McLeod out of Vancouver, British Columbia, is the CEO. Close. We'll put together some video and have some fun. For Galen down in the basement, he's going to pour some of that moonshine.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle upstairs, and in the far corner, the guru himself. I'm Bobby. We'll see you next time on the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable.
Do your due diligence.